Believe it or not, someone had thrown this mid-century Drexel Heritage credenza away. I'm going to show you how to make it over with CC Caldwell's all-natural stain plus finish. Here's a list of things you might need. An orbital sander, 220 grit sandpaper, 320 grit sandpaper, lint-free rag, staining sponge, and rubber gloves. And no, I didn't get dressed up for you. You look your best when you're doing a project like this. I am sanding inside. You can see. Remove the dust bag from your sander and attach the hose of a shop vac. When using an orbital sander, be sure to keep it moving. Don't let it sit in one place too long. You can see, like 15 minutes. And it's really smooth now. And then I'm going to use CC Caldwell's all natural stain. I'm using it inside. There's no smell. It's really easy to use. It will change the way you refinish your furniture. Maybe I'll even shower before. I've got my whole credenza sanded. I've gotten the sawdust off. I just use my shop vac, and you can use like just a damp rag, let it dry for a little bit. You can use like just a big chip brush, something to get the excess dust off. So I'm gonna be using CC Caldwell's all natural stain plus finish, and I'm gonna be using the Walnut Grove today. I would never be staining inside because stain is notoriously toxic. This is all natural. I can't smell anything. Can you smell anything? No, you can't smell anything. So I usually take some and pour it into a separate little dish. Now this stain has a finish already in it, so I don't even need to do a second step to put a finish on it. If this was like a kitchen table, I probably would put some more endurance on it, but it has endurance in it already. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take my staining pad and I'm gonna just dip. This is my staining pad, you can see. And you can just get these at a home supply store, or you can use a rag. The staining pad is great because it holds a lot of stain, and then you can use it as an applicator. I don't recommend using a brush. A rag will work great too. And I am just going to start at this like one edge of it at the center and just wipe all the way down. Now there's still a lot of stain in there, so I'm just kind of squeezing it as I go. And then I'm gonna go back up the other side, as you can see, and go all the way up. And just, I'm using my stain applicator, my sponge here, and I'm kind of like working it in, okay? So you can see how easy that is, and that's just one coat. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, this drawer, and then we'll take a look at how it looks and finish the other coats. Okay, so I have finished the drawers. That's one coat, and it is so easy. You don't have to worry about like it getting sticky around the edges. If you've worked with stains before, they can be really hard to manipulate. They can be, I mean, you wouldn't be doing this inside because they're so toxic. So this is just one coat of my Walnut Grove, and if you can just take a look at the difference there from the raw wood, you can see it. I'll tip it just a little bit and you can see it there. So this is just going to be a quick, easy project. You could think about all the things that you could fix in your house that you've been meaning to get to, and I'm like right here in my living room, so I didn't have to go out to my garage or outside to do this project. When my family gets home tonight, they will only notice the beautiful furniture. They won't even notice that I have been in here staining. So I have 2 coats of CC Caldwell's all natural stain plus finish on here now, and I decided I think I want to go a little bit darker. I'm going to do 3 coats, and in order to make that that last coat like really stick, and you can do this in between coats, but I like to do it like every other coat, I'm going to just really lightly sand, like barely touch it. I like to use just a 320 grit. This is a cool new kind of paper. It has this like kind of grippy back, so if you just fold it in half, it sticks together. And now I just really, really lightly go over it. Like I'm just barely touching it, just so it gets up kind of any residue, makes a nice surface for the next and final coat. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that. When I'm done, you wanna make sure to get all that dust off. So I just have an old rag and it's just barely damp. You can also use what's called a tack cloth. It's a cheesecloth with glue on it. I don't like wearing gloves unless I have to, and you have to wear a glove with that because it gets glue everywhere. So this works great. I just wipe everything down, make sure see. I get the excess dust off of it, put my final coat on it, put the hardware back on it, and you won't believe the transformation. From the dumpster to divine. I have got all 3 coats on of my stain, and I have my piece as dark as I want it. And I'm just gonna do one last thing. Now, because this CC Caldwell's stain is a stain plus finish, it has endurance in it. And you can check out my endurance video to see this tip as well. This is going to just buff up the finish, make it a little bit shinier, and just make it super glass-like smooth. So all this is a piece of brown paper bag. And you wanna I just like to fold it up into thirds, make it like a little tool. You can get this, obviously, at the grocery store. If you live where I live, you might have to pay for the bags now. And you just wanna do the same thing with it, lightly buff it, just back and forth, like just really lightly. And you can do this until you get the shine that you want. Not gonna scratch it up, it's just making it absolutely perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead, buff this whole thing up, put the hardware back on, and then we'll see how good it looks all finished. I love the look of my new buffet, and it cost me nothing. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe to Redo Interiors on YouTube and RedoInteriors.com.